Please welcome to the program, Morgan Holmstrom.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. So of course, SkyMed, it dropped last month, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. I've watched the entire series, and there's a lot of stuff that can happen up north. That's really what
Oh,
I've learned from this.
Definitely, definitely.
So of course you play Crystal, the nurse, who's part of this air ambulance team that goes out there to the more remote areas, indigenous tribes in northern Manitoba. So I heard that when it comes to preparation for this, you've technically been preparing for years and years because at one point you had planned to be a doctor and had done a lot of shadowing of nurses.
I did, yeah. So my dad worked in the healthcare industry for over 30 years. And, in school, I did a biomedical program in my last year of high school. So I shadowed a bunch of nurses during that time. And so I kind of spent my whole life around nurses and doctors, which is kind of funny how I ended up with this role. And yeah, it was just kind of a big 360 that we did with that. And my 2 years that I did in university, it was in science to become a doctor. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of worked out funny that way.
Did it make it easier for you when you started to work on the role to because you had that education in the past and those experiences, was it a little bit easier for you to kind of wrap yourself into the character?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely helps. I mean, when you're around nurses that much and you see how they work and how they do things, and I had people show me how to do IVs before and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely does help with the lingo and how your mannerisms for all that stuff. Yeah, it did help me.
But I heard getting the whole, practicing certain things and getting the IV down that you actually practiced on your partner.
Yeah, I did. I did. He was visiting me in Winnipeg when we were filming, and I was like, Roman, I need your help with something. And I pull out this whole kit that they sent me home with set. And it's like a bucket full of like the IVs and the tourniquet. I was like, just sit down, relax. It's going to be okay. But, I didn't stick any needles in him. It was all very safe and fun. But yeah, I did. He's a good sport with that stuff.
It was safe and fun for him, but I don't, not getting to stick the needle in. I don't think that's fun for you. I think you should have just a quick poke, just a quick poke.
What harm would that do?
Exactly. Just, fill somebody with some saline solution. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think we all have different ideas of what is fun and exciting. I don't need needles. That's I don't think I would have been able to help you, Morgan. I think I would have cheered you on in the corner. Yep. Yeah. Excellent insertion. Good tying off. That's where I would. So yeah, Roman did a really good job for you then. If that was able to help you, because.
Yeah, Mr. Green. Yeah. Mr. Green is not big on needles. That's really stood in the way of his attempted drug addiction. Didn't happen. Just couldn't get around the needles.
Yeah, it was. That was a big failure on my part. I'm working on that.
He's working on that.
Yeah.
Because I told him, I said, if you got addicted to drugs, that would really help the show. We'd be able to really play off, we're sending him to rehab, all that sort of stuff. But he won't give the way that Roman gave. He won't give.
Yeah, Roman gave a lot, Yeah.
But yeah, also on set, I heard that there was Medical Steve that would help you guys through all the different procedures and stuff that you have to do on camera.
Yeah, he was. He was always there. He was always off camera in case something happened, in case something wasn't going right. He was there to kind of jump in if we needed help with anything, or, we're doing a procedure wrong or something. Yeah, he would help us with that. And he was amazing. He was there the whole show, and honestly, he's such a great guy. So.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have in life if you had Steves for multiple things, just home Steve and grocery Steve, and there's you got medical Steve. It would be good to have a full arraignment of Steves, definitely.
be amazing. You know, this adulting thing is really hard. So I need a Steve at my shoulder all the time.
We should set up a service, the Steve service, to help you for all those things. Definitely.
I think that's a great idea, because you're right, Morgan. You know, like when you just need somebody. Sometimes it's like adulting. Like as I got older, I was just like, this is for the birds. This is, I now have a lot of sympathy towards my mother and everything that she did. So yeah, you're hitting. I think this is a good idea. I think this is a really good idea. I think we should all workshop this and go on like Shark Tank or something.
Everybody needs a Steve.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a Steve. Oh my God. Now, of course, your character, Crystal, I feel like the words that best sum up like her character, her arc, and everything is kind of like tough love. Because, you know, she's very hard on Haley when she joins, but also like with her past and her connection to her family and her community and, you know, her romantic involvements, everything is kind of tough love for her.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Crystal definitely has that hard shell at the beginning, and you see throughout the show that the layers are kind of peeled back a little bit. You see why that's the way, you know, she is the way she is. And I just think that she had to grow up a little bit too young. And, you know, her grandma, her Cookham, is a prominent elder in her community. So she had a lot to live up to. And I think you see, you know, she has this hard shell just to protect herself throughout the show. And but I like how it kind of ended, and you know, you see that she does have an ooey gooey side inside her. Yeah.
I think that's always the, you know, we see that with some hard characters a lot of times, that you find out, you know, like get through the show and you're just like, oh, okay, they're not, there's a reason for the hardness, or, you know, like something like, and it's I guess it's very helpful. Was that was that something that you looked forward to getting to as you were looking at the character, you know, like by the end, that there's going to be some less rough edges?
Yeah, you know, I was a little worried at the beginning. I was just like, am I going to be like this hard ass for like the entire show, you know? Because you only get the first couple episodes. I was like, you know, I was looking forward to seeing where they would take it. And I knew that, you know, there was that gooey center inside her, and that we would see it later on, but I just wasn't sure how it was going to manifest throughout the show. But I'm really happy with how it played out. And it, you know, that kind of tough love and that finding the balance between the two was a little bit hard for me. That was kind of the aspect of the character that I was like, how am I going to play this? How am I going to, you know, play that out through Crystal? But I feel like each episode you do see that a little bit more, that softer side of her. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I know that you don't like to get too far ahead of your character anyways, so so that you can experience in the moment. So were you surprised? Because I know personally as a viewer, I was kind of surprised with some of the choices Crystal made in the second half of the season, and even parts of the first half. So was there anything with like, were you really surprised on the choices your character made leading up to the end?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, when I don't try to put too much pressure on myself to understand where it's going to go when we're filming, because, you know, the director's going to have a say in what they want, and, you know, the writers. So I try to keep an open mind to everything and kind of just play around and see what happens in the moment. And like, you know, when I'm reading the scripts and stuff, like you said, I don't like to get too ahead of where my character is mentally. So I feel like there is a few curveballs in there of what happens, you know, with Jeremy and with Haley. So yeah, I don't know. It was all a whirlwind. Now I'm like looking back, I'm like, what happened in the show? You're doing it for so long, and then all of a sudden you're like out of that world, and you're like, what happened? I don't remember.
Totally. It was last summer, but it feels like a lifetime ago, eh?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
It must be strange sometimes to, you know, like working on a project like this and then, you know, have to be doing it last year. And then now you're talking with us about it and like trying to remember all of that. Like as an actor, like, do you kind of like keep your own like journals or anything of like your experiences when you're on set, or do you just kind of like just bank them in the old memory files?
I do, you know, I like to journal. I'm a journaling person. I have a diary, and like I keep all of those, you know, little moments in there. But you know, I look back at pictures from set and stuff, but I don't have like a just a list of things that have happened from set. And you know, I try and bring it back in my memory, but sometimes it's you know, it's lost in there. I can't find it. But yeah, it was so long.
Yeah, like do you, when you watch the shows, the episodes, or if you do watch them, I know some actors don't, but if you do, like, is you're watching them going, oh, I remember on that day, like what that was like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did a little bit of a screening at Natasha's place because she lives down the street from me, and you know, we all watched it back. I watched all of it, and it is really fun to watch and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened, and that's what happened on that day, and oh my god, that was that day it was like plus 30 outside, and that was the day it was minus 40, and you know, that's just filming in Winnipeg. And
yeah, I was about to say that's the swings in temperature. That's the worst part of like Manitoba and Ontario. It gets really hot, really cold, really fast. So
oh yeah,
and sometimes within hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes right away. You know, our first day of filming was it was plus 30, and then by the end it was minus 40. So it was quite a big change. I was used to it because I was born in Winnipeg and born and raised there. So, you know, I felt bad for my castmates, but you know,
you were ready. You were ready.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Yeah.
I had my parka, you know, and everything. So
there you go. Well, that's, yeah.
Nice.
Now, of course, on the show, the nurses and the pilots, they live in the crew house. And you guys, while you were filming, you guys got to have like an idealized version of that because you're all in the same apartment building. But unlike the crew house, you weren't right on top of each other.
yeah.
That's what I feel like. The crew house, when you watch it on the show, it's like that place looks so small. Like, how would those people survive up there? But then, like, thinking about how you guys lived in a nice apartment building, it seems like that you guys got the better version of what your characters had on the show.
Yeah, I think we definitely had the better treatment. That's for sure. The crew house, it would be a lot of people all over each other and a tough space. You're sharing a kitchen and you're sharing your lives together and working together. You're doing everything together. So we got the better end of the stick, I think, in real life.
You got your own kitchens. You got to go when you want to, like, I'm going to eat on my own. You could do that.
Yeah, we could have alone time. I feel like in the crew house, that'd be a little bit hard.
Yeah, that's like looking at the show and seeing how everybody was. I'm like, I remember going out like on school trips and stuff, and we'd be all like grouped together, and I'm like, I do not have fond memories of that, other than like like in the afternoon when you're hanging out, but like to do that for months on end.
I know. Yeah.
Right.
Very close with each other very quickly.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do become a little family. And I think that's what, you know, Julie's sister and brother-in-law were saying, is that the show was based on, is that you do create this little family up there. You like rely on each other for everything because you're in a house like that together. So, and you're working together, your lives are so intertwined. So,
well, and it's sometimes even you can like save each other's lives. So like,
exactly.
It's not exactly what I would call the easiest of lifestyles, that particular job. That's one thing the show has really illustrated, is that how not only how difficult it is to be in medicine in general, but specifically, trying to help communities like SkyMed does during the show, is like they are so far north and when things go wrong, you like your characters go through a lot of stuff throughout the show.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're in these super remote locations that don't have a nearby hospital, and, getting medevac to a nearby hospital. And some people, they're in these areas and they know that's that if anything were to go wrong, that's the people that are going to come and help them. And doing the research on that beforehand as well for SkyMed and seeing what these flight nurses have to go through, it's rigorous. It's so rigorous, and you have to stay so in shape as well for what you're lugging. You're lugging cargo, you're lugging people. So kudos to them. We're filming a TV show, but like it's nothing compared to what they go through. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of, because the show has been on for a bit now, and in some cases people have seen the whole thing, but, in other cases they're just watching it week to week. Have you had a lot of positive reactions from family, friends, and, and fans around the world?
Yeah, I have. You see people tweeting about it. You see people sharing it on Instagram, and everything I've seen has been really positive so far. We hit #1 on Paramount in the US, and we were ranked on CBC as well. So I feel like the show's doing really good. It's being well received from people. And I think it's just new. It's different. It's different to the medical, TV world. It's not just in a hospital. It's in these really cool locations, and it's in the air. It just adds a whole new level of stakes for medical shows. So I think, it's doing, I think it's doing well.
Yeah, no, I'd say so as well. But of course, outside of SkyMed, you of course are involved in other things, and I know that you're currently trying to work out a feature project about growing up mixed race.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What's that experience been like?
Different. It's so different. I open my laptop and I'm like, nope, and I'll just close it back and not writing today. It's just so different. You have to. It's not like I have a set schedule. I just have to write when I feel inspired, and that's in and of itself kind of hard. So it's been a new challenge, but I'm excited to see where it goes. I had a meeting about it, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of years. But yeah.
But when it comes to writing, like the actual getting yourself to actually start putting stuff on the page, getting it locked from your brain out onto the page, that is probably the hardest step of writing, definitely.
Yeah, and you just have, you get ideas at such random points of the day, and you're like, oh, I have to write this down now. I'm like, where's my paper? And I'm like, nowhere near my laptop, nowhere near anything. So
and then when you look at what you wrote down later to then transcribe it, you're like, wait, where is this supposed to go in the story?
Yeah, I was like, where does that even fit? That doesn't even make sense. Why did I write that down?
Has this experience, is it giving you a new respect for the writer's process? Because an actor, usually you receive the words. In this case, you're trying to give other actors words to speak, and you have to come up with all that. Is that, do you think that's affecting the way that you look at your future projects?
Oh, so much. Yeah. I have so much respect for writers. This is such a different world, and having all of film is just coming from someone's idea, and the writers are they're the ones that create those ideas, and I have so much respect for them, especially going on this new writing journey too. And I'm excited to see where it takes me and where it goes. But yeah, it does inform me, as an actor, and being on set and having this acting experience, it kind of informs my writing too, of how I want things to be done or seen. So, yeah.
Do you think you'd want to direct as well, or is that anything that you've thought about with this project or in the future?
I could see it happening in the future. I'm a person that likes to dabble in lots of things, and I feel like I only get better in this industry if I know how everything works. So when you know how the system works, I feel like you're good at your job. So You know, I feel like there's just so many aspects of the industry I don't know, and I'm totally willing to dive into everything at some point, producing, whatever, what have you. So
there you go. Dive into everything. So you're going to find out the mysteries of craft service.
yeah.
Check out that section as well.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite section.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
it is mine too.
Yeah.
My God. Well, Morgan, it has been a delight talking with you. And I look forward to more people checking out SkyMed, available on Paramount Plus and CBC Gem, and airing weekly on, I believe, Sundays on CBC.
Yes.
So definitely check it out. Morgan, it's been great talking with you. I hope you have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Morgan.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.